Hey guys, Samurai here, and in the previous episode of the Pokemon Sword and Shield series, we recently established that Ash has gotten his first gym badge from Milo, and now it's Elaine's turn. She knows what to do because she saw Ash battle. Milo goes a bit easier on her since this is her first official gym battle, and she wins this with ease. Now we're going to focus on Chase's gym battle as it has a lot more to talk about. Chase is very nervous about his first official gym battle. In fact, he's never been more nervous in his life. However, Ash and Elaine calm his nerves and tell him that he's gonna win. He goes up against Milo, and it's a spectacle at first. His Pikachu is doing really good damage against Milo's Applet, and eventually knocks it out. Milo tries to counter this by sending out his Gossifleur. Luckily, Chase has the perfect counter to this, as his Gossifleur was able to knock out his Pikachu. Chase sends out his Dottler. Dottler is able to use its Bug-type moves along with a mix of Psychic-type moves in order to knock out Gossifleur. Next is Eldegoss, Milo's strongest Pokemon at his ace. Dottler is having some trouble and is actually getting pretty inhibited. Chase returns Dottler and sends out his newest Pokemon, being Gossifleur itself. The battle's pretty kinetic until Milo uses Dynamax. Now Dynamax just completely changes the shift of the battle. Chase tries to be like Ash and Dynamax's Gossifleur. Ash says this was a mistake as Gossifleur is pretty worn out and probably couldn't handle that much power. Ash and Milo were both correct on that hunch, and Gossifleur ends up being unable to battle. However, the Dynamax doesn't end. Chase's last Pokemon being Dottler. Dottler and Chase try their best in this battle, and Dottler's feelings eventually reach to Chase and vice versa. Dottler ends up evolving into Orbeetle, and with Orbeetle's Bug-type and Psychic-type moves, they are able to secure the first gym badge and win the gym battle. The group celebrate and are ecstatic for their first gym badges each. All the group are incredibly proud of themselves, but just as they're celebrating, they get a call from Sonia. She tells them to head to the upper plateau of the city. She wants to show them something. The group immediately head there after their celebration, and they see Hop there. Hop said he got a call from Sonia too. Sonia shows them the geoglyph of the Dynamax Pokemon, this Pokemon being Toxtricity. As Sonia is explaining the history of this geoglyph, we see a couple of League staff inspecting it. They're clearly talking about, yes, this is the Pokemon that we want to... But before they can reveal anything too secretive, they immediately get cut off by Team Rocket. Now, it would be a pretty typical Team Rocket's interaction. They would make them blast off, they would use the gotcha machine, rinse, repeat. But after they do that, the League staff commemorate the trainers. They commemorate the trainers being Ash, Chase, Elaine, and Hop for their incredible effort in the gym challenge and for scaring off those puddles. After they're done talking, Sonia instructs them to head to Pokemon Center for the night, but they say that the next gym is in Hulbury and they have to cross that bridge over there. That's what the group plans to do, and it's the next day. They plan to head to Hulbury, except on the bridge there's a crying Pokemon that nobody can see and that is making trainers cry. This is generally being an obstruction to everyone, and everyone's pretty sick and tired of it. Ash goes to inspect it and starts crying, even though he doesn't want to. This being the Pokemon Sobble. However, Team Rocket strikes again, and Sobble gets scared, of course, like it did. Team Rocket doesn't know why they're crying. However, Ash bravely takes down Team Rocket. Sobble, being incredibly impressed by Ash's tenacity and bravery, wants to join Ash, thinking it'll make it a stronger battler and just make it less of a crybaby. Ash is always welcome to have another member on the team, so Sobble joins Ash's team. However, the group discovers the real reason why Sobble is crying. There is a Farfetch'd on the bridge. Now, this Farfetch'd isn't letting anybody pass without a battle and unless it can beat it. This is actually causing a huge obstruction in the bridge. Chase, seeing this Farfetch'd, is fired up and goes to challenge it as Ash is currently dealing with Sobble. Chase sends out his Pikachu, and he has a plan this time. Pikachu uses a move, Thunder Wave, to paralyze Farfetch'd, and then he switches out for his Gossifleur. Now, Gossifleur has moves like Razor Leaf and Rapid Spin, which make it really fun for Farfetch'd to fight it. Farfetch'd just having a grand old time and sees this as a worthy challenge. This is when Chase reels out his Pokeball and catches Farfetch'd. Just in case for those who don't know, this is common or the Farfetch'd Ash will catch, but instead I had Chase catch it. Just an update. With the Farfetch'd out of the way, people are now free to use the bridge. It leads on to a nursery. Now, this nursery has a pretty stubborn Bulbasaur that they can't really get rid of. Bulbasaur is very similar to Farfetch'd as it's challenging anybody it sees as a threat to the nursery. The crew ends up spending the night at the nursery as they have a couple of beds laid out for travelers who will actually pass by there. This is where Elaine's Pokemon managed to talk to Bulbasaur, talking about how good having a trainer is and how they can help you become stronger. Even Nickit chimes in on the conversation, Nickit being the biggest troublemaker out of the team. In the morning, Elaine is ready to leave, but Bulbasaur manages to walk up to her, and like Froakie and XY, it nudges the Pokeball over and decides to head along with Elaine on her journey. Elaine is ecstatic to see that Bulbasaur wants to go with her, and this reignites her passion for Pokemon battling, and she gets more excited to fight the coming gyms and her rivals. They make their way into Hulbury, and as they make their way into Hulbury, they do see Chairman Rose, Oleana, and that Bede character from before. They're having a conversation. This is where Bede says that he was the top student at the Pokemon school he was sent to, and he won't disappoint Chairman Rose. The group learns more about Bede through this conversation, however they don't interfere. They end up just going straight to the Pokemon Center, but before that, Oleana is able to stop them and says that the Chairman Rose wants to have a dinner with all those league challengers that beat Milo so quickly after they all get their gym badge, so don't keep him waiting. They enter the Pokemon Center and they're greeted by Lucas, Marnie, and Hop. They're here talking, getting ready for their gym challenges, talking about the Pokemon they're going to use, and the group enters. They have a conversation. However, there's an announcement saying that Leon is doing a free Pokemon lesson down near the marketplace. The group decides to head down there as they see if they can get any tips from Leon. The lesson is already over by the time they get there, as they took way too long to get there. However, Ash does able to talk to Leon, and along with Lucas, they ask why did Leon do this lesson. As a champion, shouldn't he be battling all the time or be training? Leon says being a champion is not only about battling, you have to help foster the region and its growth. That's something that Chairman Rose taught him. They each take this to heart, but they decide to continue with their journey. However, Elaine decides to drag the group to a fashion show that Nessa's doing around the lighthouse. Sobble comes out of his Pokeball because it wants to spend more time with Ash, and it goes on to show that Ash has no qualms with this and decides to take Sobble with him. As they head to the talent show, Nessa notices somebody with a Sobble. She says it reminds her of her Inteleon when it was still small. However, she doesn't use it in gym battle, she uses it against when she fights the champion. But this does get her excited for the gym battle and asks who's appointed first. She actually moves Ash to the first one because she wants to face his Sobble. However, this is where Elaine says if she could go first. Ash, noticing Elaine really wants to do this, allows her to go first. Ash says he wants to do some training with Sobble beforehand anyways, so he says he can wait. So in the next episode, we'll have Elaine, Chase, Lucas, Marini, Hop, and Ash all go up against Nessa. While I won't cover all those gym battles specifically, I will cover the main 3 gym battles, and I might skip over Chase's. Anyways, that's all for this episode of the Sword and Shield series. Samurai out.